It's Wednesday, time now for another Discuss vid, and today we're talking about some possible ending theories regarding Red Dead Redemption 2. I know what you're saying, GeauxBurns. We just got a ton of information last week, and the game isn't coming out till like late October. How can we do theories? Well, because technically Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. So in other words, there will be spoilers potentially from Red Dead Redemption. You've been warned. So we've come up with 3 theories so far, and I don't claim to be the originator of any of these theories, but we got 3 for you. And if you like any of the 3, or if you have your very own ending theory that you think might transpire in Red Dead Redemption 2, feel free and leave it below in the comment section. The first theory is kind of the obvious one. It's very reminiscent of how things went down in Red Dead Redemption. Arthur finds redemption by sacrificing himself so that others, including younger John, Abigail, Jack, and some of the rest of the gang escape, including possibly Sadie, Charles Smith, maybe a few others as well. So that's the typical theory that a lot of people are going to go with. Like, okay, well, there has to be about redemption, right? You know, like with John's redemption in Red Dead Redemption, this is about Arthur Morgan's redemption in Red Dead Redemption 2. That could be the way that the game plays out. But does that seem a little too convenient? Does that seem a little too similar to how it went in the first Red Dead Redemption? My opinion is that we're going to see something a little different transpire when it comes to the ending of Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I do that out there because it's a possible ending, one of many. The next one was actually brainstormed over the weekend while we were streaming some Grand Theft Auto Online. It was myself, Epix, Riley, and Kane. And, we were just doing some special vehicle circuit races, and we started brainstorming. So, the floor now belongs to Epix.
I've just been thinking on the fate of Arthur Morgan for this entire time, considering Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel.
Now, do you think...
Well, we never saw him in Red Dead 1.
Yeah, okay. So, do you think they're going to do the... Well, let's not try to spoil Red Dead Redemption, because some people...
What the fuck are we going to spoil
Come
again?
on, it's been out for ages!
No, the first Red Dead Redemption. I'm talking about the first Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, okay.
Because some people haven't
I still
played
haven't played it.
I can see it ending in two ways, right? He gets killed off,
Yeah.
or
Or he
there's
runs away.
no happy...
That's one of my
I can see
guesses.
this. There's no happy ending for him. He either gets killed off or he gets taken away to prison for the rest of his life. It's one or two ways.
I don't know, in 1899 he'd probably get hanged. Or shot.
Oh,
Personally, in my opinion,
Yeah.
I think he might run away. He might run away at the end of the game,
Yeah.
because, in other games, certain characters do that kind of scenario.
Yeah,
When it, you might see him again in the future.
yeah.
We might see him in a future Red Dead game, maybe.
I have a few...
follow you.
I do have an idea. I do have a theory.
Alright.
I think there is a sneaky reason why Rockstar calls it Red Dead Redemption 2. Despite the fact that most of the game is set in 1899, I have a feeling that near the end of the game, you're going to see several years later, maybe 10 or 20 years later, and we're going to see Jack go visit an older Arthur Morgan.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
What, to either kill him or learn more about his dad?
Yeah, learn more about his dad, yeah. Because I guess,
Yeah.
Because his dad couldn't write, though, but maybe his dad mentioned something about Arthur. So Jack decides to go visit, like someone that meant the world to John. And he finds Arthur Morgan living in another town or somewhere else. And they have a moment, and, Arthur, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if they, I think, because I feel like if they go the other route, it feels too much like repeating what happens in the first Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Like where it's, you're Jack and then, push comes to shove.
Well, I mean, that still could happen. I mean, you could still eventually...
Arthur Morgan, the way he's been portrayed and shown in these shows, and the information that we've been getting, has the potential to be one of Rockstar's greatest main characters.
Yeah.
He has that potential.
In my opinion, I think the end of Red Dead 2 we might play as John.
Yeah.
That's my theory. Because it made sense in the original.
Yeah. If you're going to go by the way that they do it in Red Dead Redemption, it would be very similar. So that would not surprise me. But it would be simply you get to play out the rest of the game, to finish everything as a younger Marston.
Yeah.
protagonist.
And maybe like settle the loose ends for the beginning of Red Dead Redemption, like then set up the beginning of Red Dead.
Or then again, they have it to where it doesn't really matter because the story ends, but you get to come back and like they set it up to where the gang is disbanded and Arthur's still technically roaming around, but eventually he wanders off. Well, I think we have to also go by the name of the game, right? Because they called it Red Dead Redemption 2, and
Even though it's the third game in the series.
yeah, even though it's the third game, but you have to
Yeah.
go by the name itself. Red Dead Redemption has the word redemption in it, which implies redemption, and that's what happens near the end of Red Dead Redemption, is that there is redemption that occurs.
Probably Arthur does something in the beginning of the game, and he can't live it down until like the final ending mission.
Yeah.
Something happens.
Well, I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's the life he's lived, And I think he gets to a point where he's just like
He doesn't want to.
he does. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He wants to change.
Yeah.
Let's see, Peanut.
So basically, like Michael, but it's like in reverse.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Hello, Peanuts. How's your weekend going? So, see, I like that idea. Like, because it's even implied in like all the information we've gotten so far is that he's going to have a moral like crisis, like between his sense of morality, his morals, and his loyalty to the gang. I think this theory could actually work because it would explain why the game is called Red Dead Redemption 2, and while it's supposed to be a prequel, it could also be a sequel of sorts. With the events transpiring after Red Dead Redemption, like we talked about a moment ago, with an older Jack Marston going and visiting Arthur Morgan, and they probably knew each other because it seems like in one of the images that Rockstar sent out over the weekend, if you look in the distance, that appears to be a young woman and a boy. And a lot of people have speculated that that is a younger Abigail and, of course, a much younger Jack Marston, because Jack Marston, if you go by the timeline, was born in 1895, and the starting point of Red Dead Redemption 2 is 1899. So that could make sense that Jack already knew of Arthur, and sometime after Red Dead Redemption, he went to go find Arthur for whatever rhyme or reason, maybe to get some more of the story of what transpired, and maybe that's where it begins or where it ends, and that's what Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually all about. It's Arthur's story being told by Jack Marston, who's become a writer, because Jack loves reading and writing. That would make sense. He has a story about his father, then the next story he does is regarding Arthur Morgan. Just something to think about. Now, the third potential ending theory that we're going to go over comes from one of our subscribers, Primordial Entropy. He had this really good idea on YouTube on one of the videos the other day, and it was kind of like the spark. That and our conversation on Saturday during the live stream made me think, this would be a really cool idea for an ending theory video. Plus, my Far Cry 5 ending theory videos are doing pretty good, so why not, right? Okay, so here's his theory. What if this screenshot of John Marston is set at the end of the game, right before Red Dead Redemption? Marston kills Arthur for the government, then goes to Blackwater to meet the agents to begin the first Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption starts on the ferry with Marston and, of course, Edgar Ross and another agent, I believe. And that's when they send him down to go after Bill Williamson along with Javier. And then eventually he goes after Dutch. So what if Marston was already doing stuff for the feds before the events of Red Dead Redemption? What if they took his family prior to him going down there, and the first target he was sent to take care of was in fact Arthur Morgan, who was hiding somewhere up in the region of the map that we're going to be in mostly throughout Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's how it ends for Arthur Morgan, and that's how John Marston is tying the two games together. So either way, the first theory, you go from playing as Arthur Morgan, getting redemption, sacrificing himself. The transition there from Arthur to John Marston. The same thing happens in ending number 3 with John Marston being sent by the feds to first and foremost take down Arthur Morgan before he goes to take out the rest of Dutch's gang. Also leads you at the end of the game, Red Dead Redemption 2, to play, yes, you guessed it, John Marston once again. Because a lot of people believe that this may be a two-person protagonist, very similar to Red Dead Redemption, whereas the first part of the game, most of it you play as Arthur Morgan, and maybe the final chapter, it segues into John Marston. So anyways, those are the 3 ending theories that we've come up with so far for Red Dead Redemption 2. Let us know below in the comment section if you like any of them, which one you think makes more sense, which one do you think works better, and if you have your very own ending theory for Red Dead Redemption 2. I realize the game hasn't come out yet, but feel free and leave it below in the comment section.